Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next-level tactics. From off-site and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
When creating websites, developers are overly concerned with making sure their code is clean and efficient. After all, bulky code can lead to slow websites. Google and other search engines don't have eyes like we do and rely on spiders to crawl websites to better understand elements, such as images, tables, copy, and so much more. When these spiders encounter bulky code, it can take a long time for them to render these elements. This will affect a website's loading speed, irritate internet users, and elicit a harsh penalty from Google. As a software developer, what can you do to avoid all of these outcomes? The obvious solution is minifying JavaScript code. With JavaScript being ubiquitous on nearly every website, there are clearly advantages to this strategy. But there are also some disadvantages as well. Below, you'll learn all about the pros and cons of minifying JavaScript code. What is minification in JavaScript? Minification, also known as minimization, is a very simple website development concept. It involves truncating all unnecessary characters of JavaScript source code without impacting its usefulness and functionality. How is minification different from other tactics? Experienced developers are aware that there are other refinement techniques to improve the efficiency of JavaScript source code. These are obfuscation, compression, encryption, and uglification. Minification differs from all of these. 1. Uglification. This is basically the same as minification. In fact, uglify is a type of JavaScript library which helps developers minimize files. Essentially, to uglify a JavaScript file is to minimize it using this library. Nonetheless, uglification may enhance performance, but it will unfortunately reduce readability for other collaborators. 2. Encryption. Encryption is the process of translating plain data into encoded data. This creates secretive data called ciphertext, which requires a special key to gain authorized access to decrypt the data. Browsers can't utilize encrypted code. Therefore, this method is more of a security feature than a minimization tactic. 3. Obfuscation. This process is done to hide secretive development practices. In essence, the source code is altered in a way that becomes illegible to other humans. Through obfuscation, reverse engineering becomes nearly impossible. Unlike encryption, computers are still able to interpret JavaScript files and execute them. Obfuscation is performed by altering the names of members, functions, variables. This results in a reduced file size and improved performance. 4. Compression. Data compression is the process of decreasing the number of bits needed for the code to be recognized. Compression can increase the speed of file transfers, free up hard drive space, and reduce bandwidth costs. Microsoft Word, and other files, may be up to 90% smaller after compression. Why don't developers create minimized cost at first? As you have already learned, minification delivers compact JavaScript files. This can improve a website's overall performance. With that said, how come developers don't already write code that's minimized? The answer is simple. JavaScript is written by and for humans. Developers need to use comments, formatting, and whitespace to properly debug the code and improve collaboration. Once the code is completed, minifying the files should be done to improve its performance. Because browsers can execute code without needing to interpret it. What are the disadvantages of minification? Minification isn't a perfect process. In fact, minification can ruin complicated scripts due to site-dependent variables, such as server environment, plugins, and themes. For this reason, minification must be performed in convergence with other performance-enhancing methods. By itself, minification won't provide significant benefits for developers. It can also introduce critical errors that are difficult to debug, since all variables and comments have been removed. Minification may be an important process for developers, but if you're managing a massive development project, it'll be worth it to consult with your team before deciding to minimize your JavaScript files. This way, you can make an informed decision that will best affect your website development project. JavaScript minification. Pros and cons. Overall, minifying JavaScript source code is an effective way to enhance a website property. This can improve the SEO value of a website, yet it can also reduce the accuracy of debugging sessions. Below, you'll find a complete list of pros and cons to make the right decision for your team. Pros. Minification reduces JavaScript file sizes. Minification improves both search engine optimization, SEO, and user experience, UX. Minification results in more efficient, cleaner code. Cons. Minification can deter debugging, especially with other project collaborators. Minification must be performed in conjunction with other performance enhancement strategies. Official strategy that can improve the performance of your website. You should be mindful of how it can alter the collaboration between key members of your team. Need help with website development services? There is a lot that goes on in any website development project. If your team doesn't have the staff and resources to spearhead a successful project, we can help. At dev.co, we specialize in delivering top-notch website and software development services. Contact us today to speak to a member of our team for more information.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.